Hey Blue Table fans, it's time for an update on the terrain that we're making. This is kind of a practice set. We're expanding the studio Runic ruins set. I'm here with Jesse. I'm like, Jesse, don't wear anything that you like today because you're going to be blackening terrain. So he blackened the terrain. By the way, this probably shows it pretty dark on the camera, but this is not the blackened terrain. This actually has, by the way, you're hearing this fan over here. This actually has three layers of gray on it. A heavy charcoal, then a lighter one, and then a much lighter one just kind of hitting the tops. And we're putting in a little bit of this brown just to add a little bit of character, add some weathering and definition. That's what Jesse's doing right now. Here's our stone slabs. This is the big cracked slab. These are standing in as hills for this terrain. Here, in fact, let's turn this off. There we go. Okay, so it's important to rinse out and dry your brushes right away. That's why you need about 6, constantly cycling through for drying. We've painted the wood brown. By the way, if you go out and you look at trees and stuff, they do not have brown bark on them, typically. They usually have gray or whatever, but there's 2 reasons to do it more of a brownish color. One is that's what mentally people are expecting, and the other thing is it is a bit more colorful. And this terrain set can be quite drab, except for the green, obviously. So we just went with kind of this reddish brown. Now the new thing that I'm trying is I'm using house paint instead of buying craft paints, and that's what this looks like. By the way, the lids should not be off of these because they dry out. But yeah, Jesse's like, it wasn't me. Yes, I know. I'm not accusing you, Jesse. Oh, okay, it was you. So anyway, because these quartz, these are only like $10, and to buy a big old 8-ouncer of craft paint, which quite frankly isn't as thick and as durable as this, is like $8. So quite frankly, I'd rather get 6 times as much and of a better quality, right? So house paint it is, plus they have tons of different colors, and they can match them from the lid so you can get the consistent results, which is something we're really working on now. So I'm pretty happy with how this brownish red is turning out. I did do a gray dry brush on top of it just to tone it down again. Oh, there you go. That's a nice angle. So for these urns, since there's not that many of them, I am using a Vallejo game color called Parasite Brown. And I do believe there's a Games Workshop equivalent to that. I want them to look like kind of Mediterranean urns. I also have to be careful with light-dark contrast here because this terrain set is supposed to be very dark, and I wanted to put on a slightly lighter color. The only other thing I can think of is to make them green, but since we are putting moss and lots of it on them, and by that I mean flocking that's supposed to look like moss, we are looking for not a green color, so I think this is going to work out. All right, we're back upstairs. Here's, I guess, the reveal on the ruins terrain. There is a problem here, which is this is not the table for this. It needs the deep green table that matches it, so it will just look just a little funny. The guy's been using the green flocked table for infinity, and I just don't have the heart to tell him to take it down. Because apparently Cameron spent like 4 hours on that. So yeah, let me just give you a little thing. Here the urns turned out real nice. Very proud of this big old cracked slab there. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun table to play on. This is definitely thicker than you'd play in a typical game. Certainly not fantasy. Probably only about half this needed for a game of 40K. If you crushed this down to a 4-footer, which would be right about there, I think you could get infinity on there. This is really 2 tables worth. I am going to make some forest flats that'll delineate area terrain, and I might make another large piece like this and really kind of build it up into an Aztec temple type of thing, which I think would be a lot of fun. But mostly you're looking at the finished result.